Hello, hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have from 1891, Sunny Brook, Kentucky blended whiskey, 80-20 blend ratio, age at least 4 years. There's the inspector coming to inspect your liquor operations. He's smiling because you've been doing it right. Kentucky blended whiskey. Is there a straight bourbon whiskey from Sunny Brook? The Sunny Brook company, really brands. There is evidence to indicate that that might still exist. Hadn't seen it, but then of course that doesn't mean anything else. I never saw this until I went to Big Red Liquor. Big Red Liquor, just the chain on U.S. Highway 90 business route eastbound in Orange, Texas. So, I saw it. I heard about Sunny Brook. They used to feature on the Beam-Suntory website. Then they revamped their website and they barely feature anything now. They don't have a full product list. They don't even have a product specifications list. It's very sad. But I guess they made some strategic decision to focus only on their main brands. I don't know. I don't care. Anyway, Sunny Brook, real brand, been on the market since 1891. True story. Age, the straight whiskeys in here are aged at least 4 years, and I think it's probably Jim Beam 4-year age. That's blended with 80% grain spirits. Okay, can't prove that. Just seems logical. 75 South. This is the old label. About a year ago, they came out with a snazzy new label. You ought to see the new label. It's really something. But I'm not going to go buy it for the new label. I don't save liquor bottles. I just don't have room or the desire. But it is interesting seeing how the labels change over the years. It's brown and gold with white trim and black lettering in parts. Blended whiskey doesn't say, it just said blended whiskey. Doesn't say Kentucky blended whiskey, which is meaning what? It could be coming from various sources. Then there's this right up at the bottom, which is very small. I'm not going to try to read it in this dim light. It's becoming daylight here, but yeah. It's just about this thing is so wonderful and it represents the traditions of the South and everything. And it's the smudged. It's the Founders Company. You say, I never heard of that distillery. The Founders Company. Well, of course you never heard of it because it's an assumed name. It's an assumed name for the Sazerac company. Good morning, Ron. Peace symbol. Morning to you, Maxwell. Peace to you. God bless you. In Russia. He's in Russia. We got viewers from all around the world, man. True story, all around the world. Philippines, Russian Federation, Canada, United States, of course. All right, so 75 South. Why is it called 75 South? I don't know. There's an Interstate 75 that passes through Kentucky, so they go southbound on it and ship it to Louisiana or to Clearwater, Florida. I don't know. Wow, nice t-shirt. Thank you. All right. So it's brown. I can have about 30% of the bottle left. Yeah. I bought this. Was one of the first blended whiskeys I bought. I don't know why it's lasting so long. Remember, there's 2 instances of the fish and the bread. The fishes and the bread. Just a few loaves of bread and a few fishes in a basket, and then they fed 5,000 men plus their wives and children. So But is it anything like that with this? I don't think so. Now, it does have that strange Sazerac rumpled bottle design. Like there's all kind of pits and bubbles in the glass. You wonder, where do they buy their bottles from? Or do they make their own bottles and just sort of have an old-fashioned method where they be rumpled full of glass bubbles? Is it hand blown? I don't know if it's hand blown, but their bottles are remarkably, their bottles are unique. You look at Sazerac bottles carefully, you're going to see that. At least I've noticed it. Anyway, how much did this thing cost? Okay. Bottled, doesn't say made, does it? No, it says bottled by the Founders Company, Louisville, Kentucky. Well, it was $5.99. And that was 5 years ago, I think, 4 years ago. Did the price go up? No, because I was at Albertsons last month. And it was still $5.99. It'll fluctuate, you know, like it'll go to $6.49 and then it'd be right back down to $5.99. Brook. I paid less than, I didn't pay much for this. I can't remember the price exactly. I think it was $6.49, or it might have been $8. I just can't remember, $6.49 or $8.49. I just cannot remember. I think it was $8. I think I could go through that garbage and find the receipt, and you know I'm not going to. But I think it was because it's paper trash. I don't mean dirty garbage, you know, it's just paper. But the little basket with receipts and slips of paper and all. But I think something tells me it was $8.37 after tax. But then I'm thinking, was it $7.37? I don't know. It's cheap. All I can tell you is very cheap. It certainly was nowhere close to $10. I know that. It was not. No way, $10. Was just one of the cheapest whiskeys they had in that store. And when I brought it to the checkout, the girl says, I never seen anybody buy this. And I wasn't surprised. It was covered with dust. It's probably been sitting on the shelf for years. But I don't think the bottle's that old. It says 18. But if it sat there for 2 years, you know, if it was sitting there for 2 years, it probably got dusty, you know. But anyway, that was a cool store. They had all kind of brandy. You say, well, duh, it's a liquor store, right? Right. It was a liquor store. They had all kind of brandy, gin, rum. Couldn't get over it. Well, what I mean by that, they had a lot of different things that I don't see around here. Mostly the same stuff. Tanqueray gin, Crown Royal, Canadian, Johnny Walker, Scotch, you know what I'm saying, Jack Daniels, but they had the green label Jack Daniels, which you won't get in most of your states. Parmesan brandy, same old story, you know. But they had a lot of interesting products. Well, I couldn't buy everything. I just say, well, I get some. What's this smudge? Now, I clean these glasses so carefully, believe me. But I'm very careful with glasses. I try to keep them clean. Probably go overboard with that. Probably go overboard with keeping things clean, which is good, I guess, maybe. I know some people, they don't even make an effort to keep their house clean and tidy, and it drives me crazy, and I can't stand being in it, and I can't stand being around them. There's no excuse to be dirty and nasty, you know. Bathe, wash your hair, stay clean. And then people will say, well, I'm poor. I don't have good income. That's probably an indication of why you're in that condition. You know what I mean? You're not poor. You don't live like that because you're poor. You're poor because you live like that. You know what I mean? I know people like that. They're slovenly. They are lazy. They'll do anything to make money that doesn't involve work. but they'll let you lend them some money. And you want to use that word lend, loan, very loosely, because if you loan them, if you give them a loan, you're not going to get paid back. You know that. You know people like that. You're not going to get paid back. They'll have every excuse in the book. But they never come ask me for money because they know what the answer is going to be. And that little sob story, you know, that sympathy story just doesn't work on me. I just tell them, you put yourself in this fix, and I can give you some resources to help you. You know. Anyway, I had to even tell some people in alcohol legs to clean up their act. It's like, I don't care what kind of filth they live in, you know, personally, but they will post photos of beer or something on the group, and it's nasty in the background, and people were complaining like, nobody wants to see that. And I was like, yeah, including me. And I told them, some they got upset. But all we're trying to do is help you be like decent. All right. And I don't make any apologies for that. No way, never. I have no sympathy. Okay, it's except in the sense that you live that way, and it's kind of a pathetic existence, you would say. But here is alcohol legs, typical, not remarkable there. They're both amber. Maybe this one in my left hand is darker than the one in my right, but it's so close it's hard to say. And then I don't even remember which is which. I've been talking, which is good. You say, no, it's not. No one wanted to hear this diatribe about people that don't keep, you know, unclean. I realized that, but it's good because it distracted me from mixing the whiskey up. So now I don't know which is which, and that's a benefit. All right. I can make a lot of diatribes from this last month, 2020. I can make many diatribes, but I won't, but I could. And I do off air. Haha. Anyway. And you're probably thinking, are they as bad as I'm thinking? No. They're probably much worse than you can imagine. Okay. This smells very, well, bourbon-esque, and I'll tell you why. Now, I was doing some trademark research on 75 South. Like I said, been on the market 14 years. And they were listing it at, one of the listings was as a bourbon whiskey. Could there be a 75 South straight bourbon? Wouldn't shock me, because you're coming from Sazerac, and their whole maybe the major part of their company is straight bourbon. So I've not seen it, but I wouldn't be shocked. However, there is a straight bourbon that those stores sell in the ancient age style bottle, which is a mimic of Jack Daniels. Everybody started mimicking Jack Daniels bottles. So if you notice, about 5 years ago, they changed the bottle design with those sharp edges, probably to differentiate themselves from the copycats. I can't remember the name of the house brand at Albertsons of straight bourbon. It's a clear bottle. I don't know. It's one of those old Kentucky names. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're trying to make it like it's been around forever. Sort of like T.W. Samuels, McAfee's. And you know, it just came out about 4 years ago. I was thinking about buying it, but I said, nah, who's going to watch it? I mean, nobody wants to watch me review brands that can't nobody get. You know what I'm saying? Jethro T. Boots is the same type thing from CVS Pharmacy. So I just started getting tired of doing those. I just want to do name brands that everybody's heard of from now on. Just because it's like almost a waste to do something like 75 South. Of course, but anyway. So when I say bourbon-esque, I mean it's got a lot of cone bread. I hear people say cone bread. And I say, it's not cone bread. Cone is C-O-N-E. You say, ah, Cohen bread. Yeah. All right. It's corn. Corn. Let's practice. Corn. Corn. You did it. You did it. This other one here does not smell so much like bourbon. And when I get that cornbread over there in that musty kind of sourdough aroma, that's making me think of sourdough bourbon whiskey. Sourdough. Yeah. Sour mash. Sour mash. You say, well, Ancient Age is sour mash bourbon whiskey. Correct. Ancient Age is a minimal age. Correct. 3 years. Of course, the 75 South has no age statement. So that means the straight bourbons would be at least 4 years. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because they make a 6-year Ancient Age. So you got a 3 to 6 year range. Wouldn't make a. I was at the Buffalo Trace Distillery 3 years ago. Oh, the guy was talking about all the bourbon aging in that huge warehouse, 22,000 barrels or 30,000 barrels. He said, you know what's in here? And everybody was saying, Buffalo Trace, Buffalo Trace. Certainly it was. He said, well, that's a lot of it. He said, but you know what most of it is? Ancient Age. He said, a lot of this is Ancient Age. Which some of the tourists were like, I heard of that. And I was like, I had a feeling that was the case that they gave me. So anyway, and then the guy's like, I like Ancient Age. He was kind of a prickly tour guide in a way. He was like about 63 years old, maybe 65. Kind of, he was sort of trying to put on this act like old country guy, friendly country boy. But I wasn't really buying what he was selling because he seemed like he didn't have a whole lot of patience, and it was really an act. That he wasn't that friendly. And when people would ask him questions, he would get a little perturbed. And if they would be talking about, I don't know, I got a feeling that this wasn't a genuine guy that you would normally deal with. I didn't care. It was a free tour, so what difference? But when I was at Barton 1792 Distillery, southwest of there, earlier that morning, with the female guide. She's about probably 23 years old. She seemed genuine, like she really was the way she was. You know what I mean? Like you could kind of read through that. So she seemed, well, beyond that, she was also a better tour guide. It was like real, genuine, authentic, and she knew what she was talking about. And yeah, one of her parents or uncles, or I think her father worked for the company. You know how that goes. Every time I go on a tour and it's a young woman giving the tour, beer or wine or liquor. Well, I never did it on a winery, but I have been to a winery for a concert. But beer or liquor, I'll ask them. I'll say, do you have any relatives that work here? And they always admit, well, yeah, my father. Got the hookup. But I mean, that's how that works. You say, no, you can just apply and you'll get the job. Yeah, sure. That's right. This has some, honestly, cornbread, some bourbon. But, you know, this one's more corn liquor, corn alcohol, corn product. And I don't think Jim Beam makes a straight corn whiskey, but then I'd probably be wrong. They probably do. I just never heard of it. You know, the famous one is Heaven Hills, right? Mellow corn, the 100 proof. Everybody knows about the legendary mellow corn. But anytime you say somebody doesn't make something, then you turn around. There it is. All right, taste time. It's like all these 1,000,001 beer brands. People will say that doesn't exist. Well, it does exist. It's in my hand. I bought it. Okay. It's made by Pabst. I don't care what their website says. All right. It's bizarre. Now this one tastes like Tastes like grain alcohol. You want to be honest? There's a little wood, but then it's like it's just like old toothpick wood because all the char done worn off of it. Char done worn off of it. I don't know. It's kind of rough. It's kind of nasty. You say, well, you paid $5.99. I know. Was I expecting something to be really great? No, I was not. There's a little vanilla. There's a little oak. That's where the woods come from. There's a little sugary sweetness. It's all there. You know, it's like bourbon, yet not, because it's 80% not. But it just has that flavor. That's where the flavor is coming from, the 20% straight bourbon. The 80% corn spirits is just odorless, colorless, for the most part, just like your blended scotch. You don't build the flavor on the column still grain whiskey. No. The flavor is coming from the single malts that's blended in. You say, are they the best single malts? Yeah, you pay $6.49 for a bottle of Highland Mist. You think it's the best single malts? It's probably a bunch of rejects. Now, the bottle says it comes from the 4 areas of Scotland. I would assume that's true. Probably doesn't mean anything. But they have been making it for decades. Anyway, that's another Scotch story. Sunnybrook. Oh, man. It has a strange peppery note. It has this unpleasant grain alcohol disinfectant. I don't mean disinfectant like Lysol, just like a alcohol. You know, I've said this 1,000,001 times. You go to the doctor because you cut your leg, and they're putting the alcohol to kill the germ. It's really that kind of thing. You say, well, I don't drink liquor to taste rubbing alcohol. You know, I know you don't. But that's where we are with these. This is where we're at. All right. You say, well, hell, nobody is drinking those neat anyway. They're blending them with Delaware Punch. Who knows what they're blending it with? Orange juice, Minute Maid orange juice, Coca-Cola, Pepsi Cola, RC Cola, Delaware Punch. All basic things. They're not making a big thing out of it. You're making a big thing out of it. You're doing a taste challenge. No one does that. I get it. I understand that. And I know and I realize it. I accept it. Still doesn't make the product good, though. If people buy it and blend it with Delaware Punch, which is made by Coca-Cola apparently now, does that make it good? No. You say, well, serviceable doesn't mean good. I realize that. It's serviceable. It's tolerable. You're paying $5.99 or $6.49 for the whole liter, whatever. You're not expecting much. You're not getting much. It's not horrendous. Okay, Sunnybrook. Somebody told me it's the worst whiskey he ever tried. That's Robert. Well, I don't know, man. You need to try some of these other blended ones I've got. You might change your mind. I mean, I know you're not going to start saying it's really good. No, I know that. You just may realize that it's not the worst. But saying something is not the worst is not a compliment. I wouldn't buy it again. I mean, I kind of like that Jim Beam bottle design, but oh well. I mean, Jim Beam commodity. It's same as Kessler. Go get a bottle of Kessler, 1 liter. Go get a bottle of Julius Kessler blended whiskey, 1 liter. Same bottle design, same clear glass bottle. You say it might be the same stuff with different labels. Yeah, but I think Kessler says 3-year aged, and it doesn't taste the same. My experience with Kessler was more positive. It seemed better, but I don't know. Is it psychological? I don't think it is, because How can it be psychological? I'm indifferent to Sunnybrook. I have no favoritism nor negativism towards it. So, and vice versa with Julius Kessler. I don't care either way. I'm not, attached to them in some way. I think this is the 75 South. It seems a little better. It's not a remarkable statement because in my experience, to tell you the truth, I find that Sazerac whiskeys are a little bit better than Beam-Suntory. That's a hot button issue to bring up. That'll set some people off. There's some viewers that would laugh and say, you're crazy. You're out of your mind. Beam makes way better whiskey than stinking Buffalo Trace Sazerac. Well, that's your opinion. To me, they're not as good from my limited experience. Now, if I drink more and more and more, I might change my mind. At this point in the game, I'm not seeing that. I find that they're not as good, but oh man, that's got too much ouchness to it. You know what I'm saying? That one over there has got too much negative. It's got too many negative vibes. I get a bad vibe from this stuff. And that bad vibe gives me 3 syllables, which is Sunnybrook. Oh man, I'm going to say this is Sunnybrook, and it's not as good as the 75 South. And I don't care if 75 South is a private label for Albertsons. That does not always mean bad. And I think it's better than a name brand. You say, well, there ain't much of a name brand. Most people never heard of Sunnybrook. I know. In 1950, yeah, everybody would say, oh, yeah, Sunnybrook. My uncle drinks that all the time. But it's ain't 1950. But anyway, I'm going to say SB. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to feel like a SB. But it's Sunnybrook. Now you're messing with a SB. Messing with SB. All right. Oh, that's not Sunnybrook. That's the 75 South. Oh, wow. I feel so discombobulated. So it was the Sunnybrook that was less offensive. Oh, well, how you feel? Played? I don't feel played. I feel defeated because I got it wrong. When you do these taste challenges, you bring it upon yourself when you do it blind. I see a lot of people doing taste challenges, but they do it in an open setting. They know which is which. They're looking at the beer. They're pouring the beer, and they're drinking it. I say, oh, no, that's a bad decision because you want to do it blind and you want it to be double blind. In other words, you don't know which whiskey is which or beer, and you don't know, and the person doing the experiment doesn't know which is which. You know what I'm saying? There's a way to factor out the bias. Boy, when you do these whiskey taste challenges or beer, even more so beer, and you do a blind taste test, you could shock the world or at least shock yourself because they got people that'll swear, affirm, demonstrate, declare that this beer is their favorite and they'll never get it wrong, and they could get it wrong. Dylan Blue says, love the recent Florida Man reviews. They were fun. Oh, thank you. That was a lot of fun. Florida Man is good. I like it a lot. It's very good. Actually, it's most excellent. But that being said, I do prefer the High Highlight's more what I want with India Pale Ales. Call it like I see it. Okay, well, you shocked me, Sunnybrook. I retract some of what I said about you, but not too much. I wouldn't recommend it, except for this very narrow concept or utilization. I would recommend Sunnybrook for only this reason. You never had it before. You're a curious cat like me, and you want to just try it out. even though you're not expecting much. Or you want to taste challenge it against other under, you know, other decrepit brands. You know what I'm saying? Like questionable, dodgy. If you're in England, they say dodgy. In that sense, it would be fine. In any other sense, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't working. It's a tragic kingdom. You be like Gwen Stefani. You know, if you drink Sunnybrook for a real reason, then you would be like Gwen Stefani. You would be a tragic kingdom. You may as well holler back, girl, because you need to get some money and go buy something legitimate. You know what I'm saying? Because then you do not appreciate the good life. All right, now, oh my God. All right, so well, you say, well, it's going to get better. I pray these taste challenges get better, because we're looking at the beneath right now. I understand that. Well, unfortunately, it's going to not get better for a little while, because I've got what's coming up. Look, I'm going to tell you real fast, and I'm cutting this off. I've been over 30 minutes. Come on now, you bottles. Well, I have even more bad news. Thursday, we're planning to do, well, Wednesday. I might do today for Wednesday, just to get it out of the way. Wednesday is Barton. You say Barton, not Barton. That's sold in the dark corners of America's cities. Yeah. I bought it at Smoker Friendly. Seemed like an appropriate place. Fascinating place, but appropriate. You know what I mean? It fit what you would think it fit. Like if you said, where is Barton sold? This would be the place where you would say, yep, that's the kind of place. So you say, well, I don't even want to watch it. I'm going to save time and effort. I'm not even going to watch this worthless taste challenge. I would not take issue with that. I would actually agree with that. Thursday, I'm planning to do ancient age preferred. You say ancient age preferred. Who prefers it? Right. Who prefers it? Can you believe it's been on the market since 1936? Well, then we're going to close it out with something worthwhile. So if you want to skip 2 taste challenges, fine. Like I say, I agree with what you're doing. But Saturday, I'm sorry, Friday, but it might be done Thursday as a double up. The last one is going to be, this will be a real taste challenge. You want to see a beat down? You want to see a punk jump up to get beat down? Then watch Seagram 7 Crown versus Sunnybrook. And then you will see Diageo whip, destroy, beat, smash, slap, spank, muscle, hustle, disrespect, shame, and maltreat Sunnybrook. I feel bad for Beam-Suntory, really. I can understand why they're not putting that on their website, considering that here's Diageo with 7 Crown blended whiskey. Yeah, it costs more than Sunnybrook, and rightfully so. So if you want to see an absolute fiasco, and it would be a challenge in name only, it will not be a challenge. It would be an impossibility. It's impossible. It cannot happen. It will not happen. There is no way, and I mean no way, I would ever confuse Seagram 7 Crown, something that's literally good in its own right. It tastes good. You don't have to make an argument. Well, it's good if you're mixing it with Hawaiian Punch. No, it's actually good on its own merits. Can you imagine what that's going to be like? Who knows what I'll say? I'm sure, but it'll be true. No. Would though. It's amazing. Every time you want to rip on these things, then they'll sneak up on you and fool you and do bad things like show wood. you're trying to rip on it and it shows charred oak. You say, oh Lord, you little rat. You're not supposed to show charred oak. I'm trying to rip you up. I'm trying to earn cred, street cred on these hangouts, and then you go and show charred oak, you little devil. All right, anyway. So yeah, Friday, 7 crown on a beatdown. 7 crown on a beatdown. Thanks for watching this video production.